ब्रह्मचर्यव्रती दण्डी सर्ववेदान्तपण्डितः श्रीमद्विवेकयोगी मां प्रचोदयतु सर्वदा. So as we stand at the entrance to the Jnana Yoga expanse, as mentioned earlier, there is nobody to guide us, not even a chair to sit and relax. Suddenly we are pushed into the universal, cosmic level of knowledge. So, how do we manage that? It's only meditation that can help us. And what should be the type of meditations? In most of our Jnana Yoga talks, it will be based on the thoughts through which we can further energize our mind, universalize our mind, unify our mind. That will be the ideas which Swamiji give. So actually Swamiji's Jnana Yoga book have so many topics about which he has given lectures in the West. But we have taken the very relevant, simple examples from there so that we can have a condensed version of Jnana Yoga. Vedantic and other philosophers of the Indian schools hold that knowledge is not to be acquired from without. See, that is something which is very unique in the Indian approach to truth. Everywhere knowledge is acquired through the interaction of the sense organs with the sense objects, then studying, acquiring the knowledge through mind, intellect, etc. But we have been seeing in our earlier thoughts that we have to go into trans-sensual realms for understanding this knowledge. So that is something which is very unique. Knowledge, the real knowledge, not the informations which we gather in the form of knowledge. The real knowledge has to come from within and not without. It is the innate nature of the human soul and the essential birthright of every human being. Aham Brahmasmi. It is not something which we have to buy from outside. It is something which we have to discover within ourselves, because it is our own innermost self. It is our own birthright. The human soul is and once we discover that, what do we see? The human soul is the repository of the infinite wisdom. What external agency can illuminate? According to some schools, this infinite wisdom remains always the same and is never lost. Never lost. Why is it Hindu tradition is called Sanatana Dharma? Because the knowledge which is part of the Dharma is a Sanatana. From where it came, where it will end, no. Nobody knows. Nobody can destroy this. And man is not ordinarily conscious of this. That is the tragedy. That is our tragedy. Because a veil, so to speak, has fallen over it on account of his evil deeds. But as soon as the veil is removed, it reveals itself. If you remember in my very, very early lectures, I tried to picturize Swamiji as somebody who is going about cleaning the chimney of our lives, which have become so darkened due to our ignorance, our misunderstandings, misconceptions, misapprehensions, and so on. So he was a light man who went on cleaning the chimney of our lives. And when the chimney is cleaned, the light which is already there shines. And that light, at that time we call it as the potential divinity. the divinity, which is the repository of knowledge, understanding, everything is there within. We have only to clean up the chimney and make the light explicit. Others say that this infinite wisdom, though potentially present in a human soul, has become contracted through the evil deeds, and it becomes expanded again by the mercy of God, gained by good deeds. We had been going on telling, purify, purify, purify your mind, purify your actions, purify your intellect. Why? Because this knowledge, which it was getting veiled, it was becoming hidden within us because of our misdeeds resulting from our misapprehension of the truth. We also read in our scriptures various other methods for unfolding this inborn infinite power and knowledge. We have already studied all that. Karma Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga, then Raja Yoga, step by step, purifying, disciplining, concentration. Through all that, we have now come to a stage where we can at least comprehend what it is being taught here. Without attachment and practicing the eightfold accessories of the yoga system, the Ashtanga Yoga, and constant dwelling on this knowledge, because in this Jnana Yoga expanse, our only aid is constant dwelling, constant meditation on this great truth. The final conclusion, however, is this, that through the practice of one or more or all of these methods, man gradually becomes conscious of his inborn real nature, and the infinite power and wisdom within, latent or veiled, becomes at last fully manifest. So we have heard people doing great tapas, etc. So all that was this. The story of Valmiki, we have several times repeated it. Right? He was a very, very ordinary human being, with selfish motivations, etc. But through constant remembrance, constant dhyana, constant purification, constant concentration, what evolved out of that old Ratnakara was the great Valmiki Rishi. So that is what we have to, coming to the starting idea. Why India was great? Because these are some of the discoveries of our great rishis, which nobody can question, which is so universal, which cannot be destroyed. Just as we can say energy. We think of energy. Energy is something we don't know from where it originated, where it is going to end. Nobody can destroy energy. We can transform it from one to another, but we cannot destroy the energy. So in the same way, this great Indian knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Ayamatma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, this wonderful repository of the Indian knowledge, spiritual knowledge, cannot be destroyed at all. So that is the great blessedness that we have to acquire unto ourselves through our study of scriptures and trying in this life to become at least a little bit of a sadhaka.